Welcome everyone. In our previous vlog, we came to know how debounce work, especially in JavaScript aspect. We saw like we have a function with JavaScript, which is a debounce function, and how we can delay the function execution with a simple with a simple set timeout method, and then we can clear the timeout based on user input and delay the timing of the function execution. In this video, we are going to try the same approach but in React project. For the benefit of time, we have already created one React project and we'll have a simple component called debounce search. So what this debounce search will do is that it is going to create a search box, and in that search box we are going to type something, and based on our type input it is going to display something like in console on each and every key press. So to start off, we were going to import React from React, and we would have a functional component which is the same name as debounce search. It would be better if we just copy the name, paste here, and then we can just simply return a JSX element. We can have a h1 tag with a title like debounce search, and then we can have an input element with the type text value, which we will give in some time, and a non-change handler. That's it. And to handle this values, we will have a useState hook. You can see we have a useState snippet already installed, so it's coming. It's getting imported automatically. And so anyway, to use the useState, we're going to initialize the blank, and we are going to set a constant input value will be an array, and set input value, and let's use them. Where we will have the setter method. We'll take the e.target.value, and that's it, I guess. Now we can test it out. We just have to import this in our app.js, and to do that, let's first remove all of this. Just simply type debounce search. Let's remove all of this. Also this useState hook, and we won't be needing any useState. We can remove this as well, and let's try it out. All right, we have a big search box over here, and we can see this thing coming over here. That's pretty neat. And since we have not used the React here, the ESLint is showing this error, so we can possibly ignore that, or we can just remove this, have this. So we have a big input screen, and to make it look a bit neat, We can have something similar to a paragraph. Yep. And in app.jsx, we can have a div inside, and then we can check. Yep. Now it's looking nice. So now the thing is that whenever we type something, we want to execute something. So to do that, what we can do is that we can utilize the use effect hook. So here we can just import the use effect. Since I have this uh, auto import option enabled, so it's just an extension. When we get it through ES7 plus React Redux, this extension. If you install this, you will also get this. So if you just type it, it will come automatically imported. So yeah, we'll have a use effect hook, which will have a callback function and a dependency array. And what I want to do over here is that as of now, I want to console log doing something, and this console log will only come when we are giving some input to the input value field. So let's test this out. We have the inspect on, we have the consoles. Let's have this console. Where is the console? Yeah, let's have the console be ready. Let's type something, and if you see, if we're as soon as we type, this doing something is getting printed every time we are typing something. You might now wonder why we are getting do something or doing something at the time of initial render, even when we are not giving any input. Post input, we are definitely getting it, but why we are getting initially? So this is because of the fact that initially we are setting this input value as blank, like blank character or empty character, and use effect will always go while rendering something based on its uh, it will always render, and then it will check the value on which its dependency works on. So even though it always render, it also checks that the input value has any value inside in the inside its variable or not, and it finds that it has an empty character, so that's why it is giving doing something like this. So anyway, so let's get back to what we were doing. So here the thing is that when we are giving any input, it's if we see the number of count of doing something console is getting increased. So now we want to control that, and here we can do that with the help of simple uh, debounce method, or we can say as useDebounce custom hook. So how we can use that? So first we're going to create a custom hook. So as per the custom hook uh, logic, we have to give a name which will start with use. So we have use debounce function maybe dot jsx, and we can have, so this is again a short form with which is coming with ES7, as I shown you earlier, ES7 plus React extension. So right, so let's uh, pass in two things here. One is a value is the input value that we will be passing, and the other one is the delay. And then we can have use state, one use effect pre import it, and here instead of returning anything, we are going to return
the values that we're getting. Say, let's take this value as a value to debounce to have a better understanding of what we are trying to achieve here. And let's return that. Now, what we're doing over here is that we are going to send this value, which we're taking from the input type field, and we are going to pass it through this custom hook. And custom hook is going to run the debounce logic and delay the printing of the values that we are getting. So, and that delay, we will be sending a delay timer. So based on that delay timer, it's going to give us a give us the result. So what we can do is that we can have the use state over here, and we can have const debounce value, since we are going to change the existing value to a new value of debounce value, and we're going to set that debounce value, right? So set debounce value, set debounce value, and here we're going to rebound. We're going to return this. Now, how we're going to set the debounce value with the delay of that many second that we are going to pass. So we're going to use the useEffect hook, and as again the useEffect hook will take a fallback function and a dependency array, and the dependency and at the place of dependency array we are going to pass the same thing that we are depending on, but the value to debounce and a delay, right? And we're going to have a set timeout where we are going to set the debounce value with the value that will come, and we are going to delay it to the delay that we're going to get. That's it, right? But it's not finished yet. We are setting the values to the new value, debounce value, but we are not delaying the timer. If there's another input, then the delay of the display of the debounce value would also get reinitialized. And to do that, we will be doing a clear timeout. And in clear timeout, to return that, we would have to have a function which will call the clear timeout function. And what it's going to do, it's going to clear the timeout. To get the timeout, we have to store it in a variable. Let's have a name as debounce timer, which is going to store the set timeout value, and it's going to get cleared over here. And as always, this is not needed, so we can delete that, and that's it. We have our useDebounce function ready. So how we use that? Now we are going to import this over here. Import useDebounce function, and we are going to call that out at the top. And in useDebounce function, we are going to pass this parameter, the input value, and a delay of say like 1000, which is 1 second. And we are going to get a return value, which is the debounce value from there. And now we are going to update the console whenever we are getting this debounced value from here. Okay, I think we have done pretty much enough. Now we can quickly go and check. So let's type something and see. So we can type React, and here we can see that doing something is coming after I stop typing. Let's type again. See, it again came after I type something. So if I types A and then stop for a while, then it will come. If I keep on typing, it is going to wait for me to stop typing, and then it is going to give the result. So this is how we can delay a resulting input or resulting output with the help of a debounce function. So the debounce function, as per the definition, it's taking a function, it's clearing the timeout first so that it can start from zero, and the timer starts from zero and it executes a function. In between, if there is any another input, the function get calls again, and it clears the timeout, uh, and the timer is reset to zero again, and it again start waiting for that timer to finish. And as soon as the timer gets finished, as soon as the delay get finished, then the callback function get executed as per the JavaScript definition. The same thing is happening in the React as well. So we are passing the input value, whatever we are typing in the input text, we're passing it over here. At the same time, we're passing the delay. It's going to the custom hook, which is useDebounce function over here. And in the useDebounce function, this the setter method is getting executed as a callback function post a delay that we are passing on. And if there is another instance when we're pressing or doing something, this is getting called again and it is reinitializing. And as per the useEffect return method, so it is returning, it's clearing the previous, uh, it's kind of unmounting, and at the time of unmounting it's clearing the timeout and it's clearing the values, and then it is giving the result. So that's how it is working. So this is all about the debounce and its implementation. It's a very simple implementation with a simple React application with a custom hook. And this is the part 2 of the series. We are going to come up with something more interesting and more interview friendly, interview required React challenges in our upcoming videos. So please don't forget to like and subscribe. Uh, let's meet in our next video.
Thank you for watching. We'll see you around.